Hello, YouTube. It's been a while. I am gonna trust that YouTube is sending out notifications. If you can hear my dog down the stairs, had a little bark. There's probably a cat in the garden, and there's nothing I can do about that. For anybody new here, you're very welcome. My name is Joanne, and this space is all just about me sharing my experience as I journey through my evolution process. Yay! Hey, the jar. Thank you for being here. People tell me all the time they're not getting my notifications, they're unsubscribed. So if you want to just check that you're subscribed and you've got your little bell notification on, if you want to be, Andrea, then by all means check that. If you want to comment and put a little like, it helps more people see this, but maybe you want to wait and see if you resonate with this video first. Hey, Maeve, please tell me that's how I pronounce your name. If you can't be new here, so you must know that I'm not very good at the whole pronunciation of names. Thank you. You're very welcome. Very, very welcome here. I don't come on YouTube a lot unless I am inspired to do so. And good morning, Nia. I've been inspired to do so today. So I'm a little bit flat. I only come in here. I don't put on any airs or graces. I am who I am. You're going to find me. This is just me. Okay. And I'm flat. And it's okay to be flat. So if you're expecting an all singing, dancing, high vibrational Joanne, then this isn't her. But this is the human Joanne. And there's a reason for me being flat. And there's a big reason for me coming in today. I want to state my intention for being here. Things I share here, they're just my opinion. They're my experiences, and they belong to me. And we're living in a world where we're not really allowed to share our opinion anymore. How do we learn? How do we learn? How do we learn from anything if we don't have a safe space to share our opinion? So this is just my hold on, let me put my teeth in. This is just what I share, and you can resonate and not resonate. My intention is just like, my intention always just has been to share my experience. And if my experience isn't your experience and my opinion isn't your opinion, that's perfect. I'm never judging or saying anybody's wrong, or anything to that. I'm not better than anybody. We're all on this journey together. So if there are triggers that come up throughout this conversation, maybe you can do whatever you want with it, but maybe look into that for you, what that means to you. And of course, you don't have to be here, but I'm sharing this from my heart. And it's really about where we are in regards to ascension. I believe that we are ascending every conscious being, life form, soul, right now at this time is going through an ascension process in one way or another. And this is all this space has really been about, is me sharing my process and that. And there's a lot of stuff going on right now. And I spoke about the split before. So if you don't know what the split is and you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to ask you to go and maybe just revisit my past video, because I believe we're not all part of a collective consciousness anymore. A lot of us are in our own little creations of reality, which means we can be in different timelines now, but in the same space with people. So the reason I'm feeling a bit flat today is because I know that I've moved to a new space. I know that I'm in a new timeline. And I know that because I have no other reason to feel flat. I have a bit of anxiety. I feel a little bit weird. I feel like I don't really belong here. And I know this will pass, but I know through past experiences that this is just me getting acclimatized to this new vibrational space. This is a higher timeline. So, you know, I've gone through various tests or initiations to get to this point. That will continue because it does. But I know this is why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling. So I wanted to share that first of all. If you're feeling a bit weird, if you're feeling like a little bit off, if you're feeling a little bit like either you're not comfortable in your skin or you're like, I had an experience yesterday where I was in this beautiful place, but it was almost like I was zoomed out and zoomed out and zoomed out, and I was like, whoa, like I don't, like I'm here, but I'm not really here. And because it's a higher vibrational space, like my vibration is lower until I get acclimatized to the space, and then my vibration will come up. So the reason I'm sharing this is because if anybody's feeling a little bit flat, if they're feeling any of these things, they'll know a little bit of weirdness, a little bit Billy. Yeah, it's all weird here. We embrace the weird, don't we, Billy? But if things are just a little bit like, oh, things are just different, you know, and you can't put your finger on it, but you're feeling a little bit off, or whatever term you want to use there. This is why I share my experiences, because it might, hey Nikki, it might resonate with you. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing is I've been doing a lot of stuff over the past couple of months, and those of you here or that have been kind of viewing or with me on this journey for a long time, Nikki, for example, has been with me longer than I have been on YouTube. I don't mean with me, together, Nikki, you know what I mean. We've done a lot of work to get to this point that we're where we are. And we've gone through an awakening process, right? So the awakening process is we start to realize that what we've been told and taught, and our belief systems and lots of stuff aren't necessarily the truth. So we go through this like quite scary, and please jump in the comments through this, okay? Like if you don't agree, come and let me know you don't agree. I love conversation. I think it's so important. So we've gone through this process, and I can only speak for myself. I can't speak for you, okay? But for me, I was like, whoa, like, and it was quite a horrific time. And then I'm like, I need to let everybody else know. I need to let everybody else know what's happening in the world. And I did for a while. And then what happens is a lot of people can't take it because they're not ready. So friendships fall apart, families fall apart. In amongst that, we had the whole, you know, world shutting down situation. And it's been intense, right? It's been intense, super, super intense. But we grow through intensity, and we grow through this change, and we grow through this trauma. We all trauma bonded in 2020. Anyway, we grow through these challenges, these opportunities. But I believe we're not in the same place anymore. And a lot of us have been fighting for change. You know, we have this vision of humanity and the good of humanity and how Earth can look and how we can treat each other and how we can be. And we realize that the change needs to start with us. Does anybody disagree so far? Let me know. So the change has to start with us, right? Like we are the change that we want to see in the world. So what happens is we start going inward, and we start healing ourselves. We look at ourselves. We want to become better and better and better and better. Okay. But you hear the term like spiritual warfare a lot, and I'm not disagreeing with it. I spent a lot of time in that space and doing what a good spiritual warrior what a good spiritual warrior does, and it was needed, and it was right. But if we want change, we can't stay there. And I just want people to be aware of, I'm going to call it like a little trap or a loophole or a cycle that may or may not be presenting. Only you will know. But because we go through this awakening and we realize, like, literally everything's out to get us, sometimes we don't move out of that space. And so we then start playing into the hands of what created that in the first place. And I'm seeing change right now. I'm seeing change everywhere. I'm seeing change in people, in the conversations, in the reality in the world, on the bigger stage. And it might look like everything's gone to absolute. And it might look like everything's fallen apart and it's the worst it could ever be. But just be aware of where you're putting your focus there. Because what we focus on, we're feeding our energy to. This is just my belief. You can think I'm crazy. You can think whatever you want about me. I'm just sharing. Okay. So I believe that what we focus and what we put our attention on, we're giving our energy to. That's our power. Okay. And what if we're in a new space? Let me give you an example. So the Aurora Borealis, okay, the Northern Lights. I live in a beautiful place of the world that there's even a song about the Northern Lights, because we live in a part of the hemisphere where they can be visible quite a lot. And I'd never seen them in all my 40, how old am I now? Can't remember. In all my years, I'd never seen them. And it was the one thing that was on my bucket list. I really want to see the Northern Lights. And we had that massive X flare. We had lots of solar storms coming in, and it was a perfect opportunity. So me and my awesome hubby went out, tried to find them, couldn't, came home. I got out of the car and I heard, look up. And I looked up and I saw what was like almost like, hey, Mark, what was almost like mist. And then I heard, get your camera, put it in night mode, point it. So I did. And as I put the camera up, this mist changed to the most beautiful colors. And it was the Northern Lights. It was the Aurora Borealis. And I stood for an hour and a half soaking in this energy. Like I can't describe to you what this felt like for me. It was pure magic. And it felt to me like the combating of what might be chemtrails, for example. Okay. It felt like to me, this is your support. Don't worry about what's going on, because the sun and everything that's happening within the sun is always supporting you, is always supporting this planet, and there's always going to be balance. And I even hurt my neck, because I didn't even think about lying or sitting down. I was just like, oh, it was phenomenal. And the next day I was on social media, and if you are this person, like, please don't take this personally, or do what you want, but it isn't personal. I started seeing all these conversations, and particularly one meme that basically said, "Oh, haha, like, you're being fooled. The Northern Lights are being created by HARP," and it triggered me something terrible, because there was people that I really, really value their opinion and their belief systems, like, posting this. So if you're one of them, as I say, this isn't anything personal, I'm just sharing. Okay, I'm not talking about you individually. There was a whole heap of people that did this, and my heart sank. And the reason my heart sank is because I'm like, oh, that's exactly what they want you to believe. They want you to believe that everything is out to get you. And even the most beautiful phenomena, this pure magic, this, it was almost being like touched by God, right? Like being touched by the original creator of your soul. Like that energy, that beauty, that natural, organic energy, pure energy that is helping us ascend and change and grow and evolve. Because of the trauma that we've suffered through finding out the truth, and finding out the truth through a way. I'm going to cry. I'm crying. I'm going to cry. Cry if you want to cry, right? In my opinion, I could see people being fooled by one meme that had been put out there, because now we're in the state of trauma that, like, we have to fight everyone and everything's a war. And that's not where I am. And it's okay for other people to be there. But I heard a while ago, like, you know, I was coming out of this, I was moving into creation crew, you know, about creating our reality. We can't do both. We can't be in a state of warring and have peace. It's polar opposites. So I got quite triggered, and I got quite upset, because I had actually experienced it. I'd experienced the energy. I'd experienced the beauty. I'd experienced that, like, connection to all that I am, and knowing that I'm part of the universe, and that the earth story is like a really small part of that, a very important part, because we're human right now. I'm not deflecting from that. But that is the sun. If people want to believe that, like, the sun can be controlled or manipulated in some form, like, by all means believe that. But I believe personally that you're being deceived. And I would ask you to really go into your heart and your soul, and put a hand over your heart and put a hand over your gut, and just ask what the truth is, and feel into that. Because we fought for change, and change is here. We are being supported. And I am being shown, like, week by week, month by month, that, like, we are so supported that it can't go wrong now. Like, in my reality, it can't go wrong. I don't know if it's because I'm not in the same reality as a collective consciousness. I don't know, but I just keep seeing and witnessing all these, like, I don't know, you can call them miracles, I don't know. But all these experiences are backing up the fact that, like, we can't go wrong. If we go off path, there are people there to, like, go, hi, did you know you've like fallen off the path a little bit? Here's my hand. Come and get it. It's almost like the more we shift and the worse it looks. Like, we won a while ago now, and everything that left is residual. I've been saying this for ages. So when I see people like not necessarily feeling into themselves before they share something, or sharing a post, or sharing a meme, like, who made that? Who made that meme? And I get it, because when you're in that place where you're like, do you know what I mean? I want people to know the truth, and I get it. But have we forgot to like feel into something? Like, is that the truth? Has that been contrived? Is that manipulation? Is that my experience? Should I share something that isn't my experience? So then I look at things like P. Diddy, okay? Unless you're hidden under a rock somewhere, right? You will find that Puff Daddy, whatever, whoever, there is so much coming out there. And I've heard people say, like, oh, it's a distraction. Oh, it's a this, it's a that. What if it isn't? What if all the work that we've been doing is paying off? What if it's happening? What if this is change? What if this is change? I just don't want anybody that has done this work in themselves and has seen the truth and we've lost so much. I don't want to come in here and cry today. I told you I was a little bit flat. We gained so much. Okay, I'm not. We've gained so much. But please, please feel into these things for yourself. Please don't be manipulated because of trauma and hurt and pain. Like, feel it for yourself. Nikki, I like to share things on Facebook to make people aware of what is happening with the world. A lot of things I sit on the fence with. And there's nothing wrong with sharing. How did I get to where I am without people sharing stuff? But I think it's more about like just feeling into like, is that right for me? Or am I sharing that because like I just believe the person that shared it before me is into the truth and is on the same. But have they felt into that? Am I making sense? Am I making sense to the people that are here right now? I believe that where we are, we can't go wrong. Because God is in control. The divine creator of your soul, of my soul, of all that is now in the driving seat. And that might not look like what we expect it to look like. But at the end of the day, it's not our plan, you know. And I'm just viewing like a lot of people I hold so dear who have lost so much for fighting for the truth and for what we believe in and for change. For me, I'm viewing some people being tricked into false narratives through trauma. And that's okay. But if I don't speak about this, maybe I have to bring awareness to what I'm experiencing and what I'm viewing in the world. And it doesn't have to resonate with you. Like, you can say, oh, Joanne, you're talking a heap of crap, and that's okay. It's but this has been the whole point of me being here, like, as a community, like, because this is a community, this is a community. A lot of us here within this space have been through a lot together. We've never met each other, but we've been through a lot together. Snowing and everything, holy moly. And I know that's come at a cost. But we've already done it. We did it. It's done. So if it feels right for you, and maybe it doesn't, people are on all different pages and all different stages, and it's perfect. It's all perfect. But can we think about what we're creating with every word we say and every thought we have and every share we have here on social media? Where are we focusing our energy? Where are we focusing our power? Are we still feeding it to an old, dead narrative that are just scrapping for energy and want that? Or are we focusing on the change within ourselves to know that it can only be the change in the world? Because that's how energy works, right? Like, if we change ourselves, our world has to change. And it's changing. And it depends with what lens you're viewing this stuff through. What lens are you viewing this through? Are you viewing it through trauma? We've all been there. We've all 2020 trauma, and everything that came from that. Are we continuing to wear trauma lenses because we're still hurt by what we know to be true? Or can we move into an acceptance of, right, well, that happened, but now I know that really it's all about me and where I take my power from. What am I sharing? What am I saying? What is it? My experience? Is it my experience? Because if it's not your experience, is it real? If we are in a stage of everybody being within their own different universes and different timelines and all this kind of convoluted stuff, it could be very real to that person, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's real to you anymore. So I believe we're moving through this period right now of assessing where we are, where we've came from, and where we really want to be. And if where we want to be, we're continually seeing in the future, we're never going to get there. It has to be now. We have to be it. We can't just keep thinking tomorrow. Like, we have to be it. Can you hear my dogs? There's a lot of cats around here, and every time they go in the garden, they like to have a little conversation with them. So it's just a little food for thought for you all. Okay, like, oh, Loopy Loo, that comment. Oh, I realize I have to be careful not to turn into the monster that we have been that we've been made aware of these last few years by baying for blood and justice. That. And Nikki, I'm focusing on my freedom. Freedom for all looks different for everybody. And true freedom is allowing people to believe and have their own opinions on whatever that is without somebody telling them they're wrong. And that's why I'm not saying anybody here that's experiencing anything different is wrong. It's just not my experience anymore. And that's change. It's change. We're not meant to stay the same. Billy, we're raising, and it's exciting. It is exciting, Billy. On waking out of the dream last night, I seen the lays as beautiful energy tunnels of a light golden glow. Beautiful. It makes sense. We are so programmed to see the darkness and everything. Yeah, we just have to be careful, you know. Mark, one goes through what we must go through for sure, Mark, for sure. I mean, we went through so much together, right? Like, we went through so much together. And the more energy that is, the more people that are focused on one thing, the more energy, the more velocity, the more powerful that is. So when we take our focus from outside ourselves and take it inward, that's the most powerful thing that we can do. And especially with like the news the way it is, and AI and all these generations, you know, how do we know what's true anymore? We have to go with inside ourselves and say, is this true for me? So all I'm asking, if it feels right for you, is before you share something, before you have this like knee-jerk response to like, yeah, everybody needs to know that, can you just ask yourself, like, is this my experience? And if it isn't my experience, do I want to share it? Do I want to add energy to that? Is it a positive experience? Is it something that is going to assist in the creation of this more harmonious, peaceful world that we want to see? And I'm not saying that any of this stuff's easy, because we know it isn't. We know it isn't. But it gets easier. It gets easier. And we know things are getting really loud just now, the US elections and everything that's coming in, right? Where are you focusing your energy? How is it making you feel? And be aware of things that are being played out that aren't your experience that you're feeding into. Why are you feeding into it? Does it feel right for you to feed into it? Does it feel right for you to share it? This is all about us growing into our intuition and knowing what is right for us. And what's right for me might not be right for you. And that's perfect. But what that means is, don't just go and share something of mine because you agreed with something I said yesterday. We might not agree on this right now. Don't share it, don't like it, and that's okay. The skin is coming off the custard. Thanks, Mark. That made me laugh. Anybody got any comments or anything they would like to share with regards to what I'm saying? I mean, what does everybody feel about this? Like, what's your feelings with regards to what I'm talking about now? Do you feel the same? Do you feel different? Like, Loopy Loop, my best friend calls it the chain of pain. It's so easy to pass it on. He never passes on what we chat about, especially if it's negative in nature. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Oh, thanks, Mark. The thing about this channel is, and it's really funny because like my subscribers just keep going down, down, and I'm cool with that. I don't know if it's necessarily a intentional thing, but I was never here for numbers. I was never here for subscribers. I was never here to sell anybody anything. I've never, there's no ads on my channel. If there is, I'm not getting money from it. This is solely a place that I come and share from my heart. It's not about numbers for me. So, I mean, YouTube can continue to knock numbers off my subscriber list if it wants. I just trust that this message will get to who it's meant to get to, It's, yeah, everyone's going through it. The thing is, I feel for people because, for some people, like it's their livelihoods and stuff, but I just trust, I'm just always exactly where I'm meant to be. And as long as I didn't plan on coming in and doing this morning, I have to work in inspiration now. Like the things I do have to come from a place of it being right now. And I have to be so open to change and adaptation because these timelines and things are shifting so quickly that what resonated yesterday might not resonate today or tomorrow. So I can only work in the space of what I call divine inspiration, And Nikki, I've lost a lot of awakened people too. I love meeting new people who come into my life, whether they stay or not, for sure. Anjo, hi, darling. I feel pretty much the same, but my path leading to this point has been unexpectedly different. Yet I know all is as it's meant to be. Thank you for sharing, Anjo. It's lovely to see you. It's all perfect. It is. But sometimes we need to hear things from outside of ourselves, to question ourselves, to figure out what it means for us. And that's all this is me sharing my experience. I'm not sharing something that I've heard from somebody. I'm not sharing something that I've got secondhand. Like I'm literally just sharing my experience because that's all I can do, because that's my truth. My truth is my experience. Somebody else's experience isn't my truth. But I will know what then becomes my truth because it resonates with me. But that can also change and flow and grow. Oh. It's so good to see you here. Things are changing for me all the time with regards to how I support people. So I'm just showing up in every moment and every day in inspiration. I do trust that the next time I come in, I will be in a not so flat space, but I'm not going to pretend to be anything that I'm not. I'm certainly not going to be one of those people that just pretend that everything's okay and brilliant and perfect all the time, because it isn't. We have emotions, we're human, and we move through things. And I believe we're becoming this conscious human, We're becoming this conscious human, and really this is what this kind of ascension journey is all about. We're not going anywhere. We're progressing. We're progressing vibrationally. So thank you for coming along on this journey with me. Thank you for listening to what I have to share. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your opinions. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being the warrior. Thank you for being the sharer. Thank you for being all the things that you've been. Thank you for being part of this group and this community that we have here. Like, thank you for all that you are, because it's not easy here. But it's better and better. It's better and better and better and better and better and better and better. Be aware of what lens we're looking through. And know that you can change that lens in any given moment. It's been an honor. I have some things in the pipeline that we'll percolate and we'll see what comes of whatever comes. But for right now, oh hey, thank you all for being here. Just before I go, so I want to speak about that ground. Actually, this is quite an important part. Grounding. What does grounding mean? Can we have some like in the comments? What does grounding mean? Because I feel this is like totally relative to. Is anyone be brave enough? Come on. What does grounding mean to you? These are the conversations we have over in Patreon. We kind of pick things up and we pick them apart and we have all these opinions and we share so that we can figure out what our own experiences are of this stuff and not be brainwashed by other people's opinions. Mark just spent 30 minutes grounding, okay? Connecting to the earth. So do you mean connecting to the earth also, Mark? Connecting to the earth's energies. Baloo says any yucky energies can be pushed out of your body and down into Mother Earth. Okay. So everybody's saying that it's grounding is connecting to Mother Earth. Okay. Why do we do that? What's the point? Why do we do it? Why do we ground into Mother Earth? Because we live on her planet, okay? Lisa says it's not festering inside you. Gazella, darling, she says to find balance. Mark, to remove free radicals from your system, okay? All of the above. All of the above. I find myself like I have an aversion to shoes these days. I'm constantly walking about barefoot at every given opportunity. Because at this point in time, this is where we live. Thank you, Angel. They've connecting with our mother. Okay. To me, this becoming conscious human, this ascending through the chakras. And I'll talk more about ascending through the chakras if it's something that you guys are interested in, right? In different videos, if that's something that you want to know about. We're on stage 10 now within the 12-month group, and what a journey it's been. Anyway, so I realized that I spent a lot of time working out my mental stuff. I spent a lot of time working out my energetic, my soul, my spiritual stuff. But I did a lot of human avoidance. And what I mean by that is it was a lot easier for me to spend time in the ethers, in the etheric, than it was to be human. And again, this comes down to trauma. Andre, I love your honesty. Honestly, because teachers kept telling me it was important for me to stay here and not be constantly in higher dimensions. Beautiful. There we go. Okay. because in these higher dimensional places, Andrea, right? Like you don't really feel the pain or have to experience the trauma. It's a lot more kind of fluffy and loving and bouncy within these spaces. And really, for me anyway, there was a lot of avoidance of the human emotions. You know, the lessons that we came to learn as the human. Spent a lot of time avoiding my human because it was too painful. It was too painful to look at who I was. It was too painful to look at the world. It was too painful to look at what was going round about me. It was too painful to feel the emotions of it. So it's just, I found my peace. Pisces dreaming. There it is, Mark. I found my peace within the etheric, which was important because I had to experience it to know what peace was. So there's nothing wrong with it. It's not wrong. It's not bad. It's not terrible. But now I'm really having to be human to become this conscious human. So I had to work in my consciousness to evolve that. Check. Constant process, though. But where was my human within that evolution process? If I wasn't also working on being human, then it causes a mismatch. And we can evolve more as a consciousness than we are as a human being. And that was okay for a certain amount of time. But I was almost leaving my human behind a little bit. And, you know, you talk about spiritual bypassing, like I was human bypassing. I was human bypassing. And so grounding for me is bringing me fully into my body. And grounding into being the human experience. And accepting that for all it is. And knowing that I can expand in fact, my consciousness will be expanded more by experiencing the human being. So where I thought I was expanding my consciousness within the ethers, now it's both. Now it's like I'm expanding my consciousness, but I'm expanding my consciousness within the human experience. So for me, the grounding is like accepting the humanness of all that I am. Judgment. I have to judge people. What do you think judgment is? Oh, you're not allowed to judge. By the way, my dog's doing nothing. That cat must just be sitting outside the window, just like staring at them. I have to have judgment to be able to cross the road safely. I have to have judgment over somebody to tell whether, like, I want to spend time with them or not. I have to have judgment over somebody to know whether they're a good or a bad person. I have to judge somebody when I'm standing. I'm way to go to pay for a checkout. I'm going to make the judgment of what checkout I want to go to. So there's a lot of stuff that's been quashed within the spirituality element of it that kind of really bypasses the human. And then we're believed that it's bad to judge, but we need it. You call it discerning. Yeah. Yeah, I get it. I just think there's been a lot of words used to also, you know, make us not be fully grounded into the experience. And we're here to evolve as a human being. We want to help humanity. We're here to help humanity. We can't help humanity in the ethers. There's loads of etherical beings doing that. we chose to come here as a human being to do both. It's how we process everything in our lives. Yeah, embracing it, warts and all. Yeah. It's an interesting conversation. So for me, the physicalities of grounding, getting my feet in the earth, is helping my body. It's reducing inflammation. As Mark says, it's helping to remove free radicals. The vibration of the earth is then helping the body. It's soothing, it's nurturing. But from an energetic level, it's also about staying in the human experience for me. I'm going to go because I need to go and let my dogs out or something, or chase a cat away. With love, one of the two. I love you. Thank you for being here. Your time is the most precious thing that you can ever give anybody. Thank you for being here and sharing your precious time with me and with us all. You're all beautiful. You're all perfect the way you are. You're not broken. You don't need to be fixed. Thank you for all that you've done, all that you're doing, and all that you continue to do for where we are in the world. Please know that you're never alone. And if there's anything that you want me to come in and chat about, or have conversations about, or leave it in the comments. And I'll be in here the next time that I am divinely inspired. Have the most beautiful day of heaven and earth. I love you. It's been so long I can't remember how to end the stream. Got it. Love you.